Hi everyone, hope you're all keeping well and looking forward to going back to school or had a good week at school. We miss you so much. Hopefully it won't be long until we meet again on a Sunday morning up at the rugby club or even a walk round their lodge or something.
Morning folks, how are we all doing? Everyone okay? It's another Monday and I've actually got Ross back to school today, only for a day, but it's a way back, so small steps. But today, most importantly, most of you will all be back in school today and it's a lovely day. How exciting is that? I'm going on a wee journey today, much probably like the one Jesus did, over the hills and all on foot. Can you see? Look what we can see behind me. It's a rugby club, isn't it? Our home during lockdown, and maybe it'll have to be our home again for a while, but that's alright, isn't it? It's quite nice up there. I like it up there. We've got all that space all to ourselves. It's fabulous, isn't it? Anyway, I'll be back, tune back in with you later. Just wanted to say good morning. Take care and I'll speak to you later on.
How did you get on with those riddles then? They were a bit of a challenge, some of them, weren't they? Jesus was challenged to do something that he was going to find really, really hard too. So on that note, we're moving on to our next game. And for it, you just need all of you and one of these. You don't actually need the dice, but it just gets a little bit more fun too. Sit in a circle and everyone takes a turn with dice. And throwing it away. Every time it lands on a 6 or a 3, the person holding the dice has to do a dare. Are you brave enough? It's going to be a challenge, and only the very, very brave will do them all. Just what it was like for Jesus. What was coming to him was a real challenge, but he dared to do it. We're getting well through Lent now. How many of you have given up something during Lent? Maybe some of you have decided to do something differently every day during Lent, something kind for somebody, which would be fantastic. I'm trying to do that, but I've also given up something that I've had far too much of during lockdown because it's been a bit of a comfort to me. Sweeties and chocolate bars. So I'm giving them up till Lent, except I think it's going to backfire because I got quite a lot of chocolate for Mother's Day And then we got chocolates for our anniversary. So I'm storing all these up until Easter. And then we'll have chocolate at Easter as well. So it maybe won't work because I'm going to have so much chocolate to eat at Easter. Or maybe I could do the right thing and give some of that away. Just let it all go. Do you think I'll be strong enough to do it? I hope so. So for those of you that have given something up for Lent, how easy are you finding it? I'm finding it a bit tricky, I have to say. Because sitting here in front of the laptop hour after hour really makes me crave having some chocolate or sweeties. So I'm having to be really strong. And I'm hoping that I'll let go of it forever. And really, in the grand scheme of things, giving up a bit of chocolate and sweeties isn't much to give up, is it? But the disciples of Jesus, they give up everything to follow him. And they to maybe give up a few of the ideas they had of who Jesus was and what he was here for. They thought Jesus was going to be here forever and leading some great army and taking over as king of the world, basically. Because he was king of the world. But not in the way they were expecting, was it? So they had to work really hard and let go of some thoughts they thought had in Jesus and their idea of Jesus altogether. And today, that's really what we're all about.
Right folks, we're going to play a game called Load and Let Go. So you just need a selection of awkward items. You could do it with books, boxes. We're going to do it with pillows and cushions to keep it safe, so you should maybe do that. You have 60 seconds to get loaded up with as many things as you can carry safely. Okay, as many things as you can. Go. That you can carry safely. Okay, can you still move, Ross? Okay, now I want you to shake Katie's hand. Oh, now try and wave. Give Katie a hug. Nice one. Okay, raise your hands in the air. You're going to have to let go of some stuff to do all that, aren't you? The only way you can make this possible is to let go of something that we're holding on to.
When Ross was demonstrating, he was seeing what he could hold on to without having to let go to do something. But in the end, he had to let it all go, didn't he? And that was just like Jesus' disciples. They all have some idea of what they think Jesus is. Everybody had some idea of who they thought Jesus was. Because we know Jesus' story, don't we? But the disciples thought they had this great leader and he was going to be here forever to lead them and to bring people to God. But actually, he was just getting them ready, planting seeds for them so that the disciples could go on and keep bringing people to God. Jesus wasn't going to be around forever, was he? And we know that now. So the disciples had a lot of ideas they had to let go of. And today's story is just one of those times when Jesus was trying to get it across to them that he wasn't going to be here forever and that wasn't the way it was going to be.
Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. It's a glorious day. We've had a couple of really cracking days, haven't we? Just nipped out, try and get a little bit of fresh air before the sun goes down. Sat inside all day like a lot of you will have done at school this week, looking out at these beautiful blue skies. So I've even taken a bit of filming outside, but you'll see that shortly. Anyway, I'm at one of my favourite places again. But if you look behind me, you'll see the reason why. Hi everyone. Seeing as it's such a lovely day, I've brought you outside to do our story today. Now, I got something really beautiful today because believe it or not, Craig and I have been married for 20 years today. Sounds ancient, doesn't it? We're ancient. Look what I got. Aren't they beautiful? Smell beautiful too. Do any of you know how these would have started out? Have they always been this beautiful? They haven't, have they? Lots of beautiful flowers. Don't know if you can see behind me, but this plant looks a bit dead at the moment, doesn't it? Like the flowers, it started off like this. Can you see? What are they? They're seeds, aren't they? Tiny little seeds. And who knows what we have to do with the seeds to get the beautiful flowers? We have to plant them, don't we? We have to bury them deep down in the cold, in the dark. And they have to really struggle, don't they? They have to really struggle to bring themselves up and push up through the cold, dark earth till eventually they come up in a little bud and we're left with something like this. Aren't they gorgeous? So eventually that's what's going to come out of this pot. Strange that, isn't it? Because where do the seeds come from to start with? When the plants die, like the dandelions that we see in our slides, the seeds all come out. So it actually has to die to give us this back into new life. Isn't that amazing? And this is the point Jesus was trying to make in the story today. By this point, we're kind of skipping forward a little bit because Jesus has travelled into Jerusalem and some people were wanting to meet him. A group of people from a different country. So they went to Philip, who was, as we know, one of Jesus' close friends. And then Philip went to Andrew and they went to Jesus. And Jesus met with them. Because everyone was a bit confused about Jesus. They wanted to know who he was and really know who he was and what he was here for. Even the disciples got a bit confused from time to time, if we're honest. Before he met everyone, Jesus wanted to explain and make sure his friends knew exactly what was going to happen to him. So he said to them, when we plant seeds in the ground, it's as if they are dead to us. But then they begin to grow, struggle, and they grow into things like this. They grow into beautiful flowers, into lovely fresh fruit and vegetables. They grow into grain that we put in our cereals and our bread. They have new life. And that is the same as what will happen to me. I have to die and be buried so that I can grow again. And Jesus said, I find this all so hard. Part of me just wants to say, Father, get me out of this. But I know it's what I must do. It's what I have been brought here to do. This is what I came here to do, Father God, to make your name great. And then all of a sudden, all the people there heard this big, booming voice that said, I have glorified my name. I will make my name great again. Where did that come from? And they realised that it was God speaking to his son. Jesus knew that everyone around him had heard this voice. They might have been a bit puzzled, wondering what Jesus was talking about. But when they heard that thundering promise from heaven that God's name would be glorified, we know that the suffering, death and the resurrection of Jesus brought that glory to God. Jesus knew that the people around him would still not quite fully understand who he was, but that God's voice had been spoken aloud for their benefit. He knew his purpose, and he knew how powerful it would be for all the world. Jesus has come to drive out the darkness, and to do that, he knew he would have to give his life. The reason Jesus is talking to the disciples about the little seeds, grains of wheat dying, is so that they can become a plant. And it's because Jesus knows that he'll soon stop being the Jesus in the way that the disciples know him. He knows what's going to happen to him. And he wants his disciples to think about his life, his death and his resurrection in the same way that we would think about a seed turning into a beautiful plant. Just like this one. He wants them to know that his new life will be like a plant that keeps growing and has lots of new seeds. And he wants them to know that this is what they will be like. They are the seeds that will be part of this new life. Seeds that will share God's love and his healing, just like Jesus did. And isn't it great to think that we're all little seeds too? Yeah, you are. All of you are little seeds. Because every time you show somebody some kindness and some love, you're just planting one of the little seeds of Jesus. Because that's all he wants us to do. Spread his love by being kind, being joyful, looking after each other, and looking after yourselves. Spreading Jesus' love is just like sowing lots of seeds so that you can grow too into awesome human beings. I want you to imagine that you're the little seeds and we're going to try and see how difficult it is to grow. So, first of all, get yourself down in a tight little ball, tight as you can go. And then we get the sunshine and the rain and a little shoot starts to grow. Doing it. And then another little shoot. And really push. Try and get through the earth. And then we're growing a bit, really struggling to get through the earth. And then the seed grows and grows and grows until we're in full bloom. Don't know about you, I found that a bit of a struggle. Hi folks, I've came for just a wee quick danner before the sun goes down. And after filming with the flowers and the seeds, look at here, see where all these trees have been cut down? And already there's new life starting to spring up among them. And it won't be long before hopefully there'll be hundreds and hundreds of karates or bluebells here. The rest of this place will look familiar to you. As you know, I come here quite a lot. Isn't it just glorious? And look at all this. All that there. Because this was trees all the way along here, but now we see this beautiful view. But as you can see, new life is already starting to spring up. Seeds have been planted, the old's died, and the new's coming, starting afresh. Fabulous.
Right, I've got a wee task for you today, so you'll need a piece of paper. I would like you to, when you get your piece of paper, fold it in like that, and then fold it back again like that, so it looks like a little house, and then fold it over so you've got half a house. And then I'll just get my scissors, and if you cut it like that, okay, and then when you open it up, you'll have a nice surprise, and I would like you to either colour it in and shoot or write a prayer on it and then post them all on the WhatsApp app. Thank you, take care, see you soon, bye.